Congratulations. Our next inductee has achieved an unparalleled career path. Dr. Eleanor Green's life's calling in veterinary medicine has brought her to be the first woman in a variety of settings. She is a horsewoman, an educator, and a community leader. Here's her story.
2013 Cowgirl Hall of Fame honoree, Eleanor Green. Leader, pioneer, horsewoman, and distinguished educator are all words used to describe Dr. Eleanor Green. She has been a pioneer for women in veterinary medicine for almost 40 years. With a childhood affinity for ranching, agriculture, rural life, and a passion especially for horses, Green cannot remember a time when she was not begging for a horse and riding lessons. She competitively showed American saddlebreds as a child and in high school switched to quarter horses. At 16 years old, she had everything she needed: a horse, a driver's license, and a trailer. Sometimes traveling alone, sometimes with family or friends. She was elated and fulfilled. Green attended the University of Florida in Gainesville, where she earned her bachelor's degree in 1969. Her innate love for horses and animals drove her to pursue a degree in veterinary medicine. In 1973, she graduated from Auburn University, one of only 4 females in her class, as a doctor of veterinary medicine. For the next 4 years, the young doctor and her husband worked at a private practice in Guntown, Mississippi as the go-to equine practitioner. While there, she took an opportunity with Mississippi State University as an assistant professor that ultimately shaped her career. Thriving as an educator, Dr. Green has been sought after and has taught at many universities: the University of Missouri, the University of Tennessee, the University of Florida, and most recently at Texas A&M University. Green's career is filled with firsts for women. First woman veterinarian hired by Mississippi State, first woman department head in both Tennessee and Florida, and in 2009 she was named the first woman dean of the College of Veterinary Medicine and Biomedical Sciences at Texas A&M. She also has several presidencies to her credit: President of the American Board of Veterinary Practitioners, President of the American Association of Veterinary Clinicians, and the first female president of the prestigious American Association of Equine Practitioners. She's been earning academic awards since 1969 as Outstanding Woman in College of Agriculture at University of Florida, to recently receiving the Wilford S. Bailey Distinguished Alumni Award for the College of Veterinary Medicine at Auburn University. You'll find her name on many Who's Who's lists, and having received several Outstanding People Awards, she was even a part of a research team to ensure the health of the horses during the 1996 Olympics in Atlanta. Dr. Green is a true success. Beyond her obvious professional success, she is an active horsewoman and is dedicated to the American Quarter Horse Association. She remains active in the horse industry, showing her home-trained mare to 2 Reserve World Championships at the AQHA Select World Show. And in 2012, she qualified a new horse for the AQHA Select World Show in pleasure driving. Green has also raised 3 children, Ashby, Stacy, and Wade, all of whom are successful in their own endeavors today. Eleanor is an enthusiastic leader who builds team above all else. She has accomplished that challenging and essential task of being a true leader in a time when leaders are few. We are humbled to announce Dr. Eleanor Green as a 2013 inductee to the National Cowgirl Hall of Fame.
Dr. Eleanor Green is our first Doctor of Veterinary Medicine to be inducted into the National Cowgirl Museum and Hall of Fame.
Howdy. It was great to hear Mayor Betsy Price say that, because that's the official greeting of Texas A&M, and you might have noticed this side of the room responded immediately. But thank you all. I'm truly so humbled. I'm speechless, and I'm not always that speechless, but I really am. When Diana Vella called me, I just didn't know what to say. I was speechless. And that phrase is used a lot, but it was true. Diana, you took my breath away. And then Pat Riley called, and then Wanda Waters called, and then Patty Colbert called, and then Dr. Charlie Graham, 3-time Hall of Fame inductee himself. Family, friends, and colleagues have just been wonderful, and I'm just now catching my breath. How humbling is this honor? After time for reflection, I just still don't know what to say to all of you. It's just overwhelming. And look at you. You're all remarkable, successful, talented people in this room. Among you are founders of this great National Cowgirl Museum and Hall of Fame, and those with the wisdom to bring it to Fort Worth, where it would be nurtured and expanded. The Cowgirl Hall of Fame and Museum is a special place where history and accomplishments of so many amazing women are preserved, along with the heritage of the American West. Among you are members of its board of directors and staff, individuals who just devote untold time, talent, and resources to this important cause, as does every single member who believes in it. I really would like to thank the Hall of Fame Committee, which has the unenviable task of selecting those inducted. And before I go further, are you sure I'm supposed to be here? I don't know. Maybe better recount those votes. Among you are representatives from Texas A&M University. They make up this rowdy bunch over here. What'd I tell you? They're the most extraordinary group of academic professionals with whom I've ever worked. They come from the Texas A&M system, campus leadership, and the veterinary college, and all of them have made notable contributions to their own disciplines, higher education, and Texas. And my academic home is the Department of Large Animal Clinical Sciences, and I want to show you what they did for me. That's you guys, thank you, and you should have seen the cake. I wanted to bronze it. But now I'll be branding the National Cowgirl Museum and Hall of Fame at every meeting I attend, and I'm forever grateful to you all for this gift. Among you are members of the Development Council at Texas A&M and the Vet School, and also the Equine Development Committee for the Equine Initiative at Texas A&M. You're legends yourselves, and now you're contributing to the legendary initiatives to support and sustain the horse industry while developing the horse industry leaders of tomorrow. Perhaps someday, some of those future leaders will stand before you as contributors to the National Cowgirl Museum and Hall of Fame and stand for what it embodies. Among you are lifetime friends, including some classmates. And you're not only friends, you're highly successful professionals whose accomplishments and contributions are beyond compare. And among you are members of my family, all of whom I both love and admire. You are the meaning of life and an immeasurable source of pride. And among you are the other women inducted this year. One of my all-time favorite movies is Dances with Wolves, and Kathy Smith, how could anyone miss your brilliance in costume design? And last night I was walking around the museum. She did the Northern Cheyennes, and when I was young, I had the opportunity to do a Christian veterinary mission to the Cheyenne Indian Reservation at Lame Deer, and it brought it all back. And Kathy, thank you so much for doing that. Mary Walker, what an inspiration you are to all of us, not only for overcoming tragedy and challenge, but also for excelling through it, serving as a source of inspiration for others. And I wish Lizzie Johnson Williams were here. Wouldn't you all like to just sit down with her and talk about what she experienced in the world of cattle trading and what it was like to drive cattle up the Chisholm Trail? What a pioneer she was. And among you are, well, I'm here too and grateful. And what can I share with you about me? You might be wondering how I got here. I'm an individual who grew up on an island in Hillsborough Bay, 1 mile from downtown Tampa, a Florida girl, a city girl. And sometimes I wonder too. But from birth, I've been one of those horse-crazy kids. My first complete sentence was, "I want a pony." And I grew up watching the Lone Ranger, Gene Autry, Roy Rogers, and of course, Dale Evans and Annie Oakley. Woo! I absorbed their life lessons about integrity, what is true and good in the world, and how to treat people. I marveled at their rugged independence. Who they were and what they stood for resonated with me. What also resonated with me was the land, agriculture, and the Western heritage, always. There's just something about that, something about our connection, our dependence upon it, and our responsibility for its stewardship. And horses. Diana Vella has mentioned the horses. I read every book in existence about horses voraciously, and my sister Martha and I started riding lessons at a very early age and finally convinced our parents, of course they might say beat them down finally, but to buy us our own horse. That was the happiest day of my life, and I've never been without not a horse, but horses since. Horses taught me so much. They taught me how to interact with animals and people, and how not to interact with them. They taught me about responsibility, work ethic, compassion, love, and loss. They taught me that shortcuts never pay off. They taught me how to win and how to lose. They taught me humility. They taught me that the temper does not take over until the knowledge plays out. So the solution to a brewing temper is more knowledge, whether it's about handling a horse, communicating in life, or dealing with life situations. If all people match the honesty, reliability, willingness, loyalty, and heart of a horse, this world would be a better place. Horses also prepare me, thank you. Horses have also prepared me for parenthood. My children are here today, and I hope you get to know them because they're just amazing people. They've overcome hardships, like having a mother who's an equine veterinarian. When Ashby was a baby, there was no childcare, so I took him with me on calls. And while I worked on horses, he sat in his little seat, kicked his feet, waved his arms, cooed and smiled. And often the ranch wives would ask if they could hold him for a while, and they'd often take him to the house while I worked on horses. He never met a stranger, and he was always so good. And we had a nursery in our veterinary clinic and a toy box. Now, veterinarians' children have very special privileges, such as expanded opportunities for toys. Beyond those routine store brands like Mattel, Hasbro, and Fisher-Price, many of their toys were Monoject, 3M, or some other brand of veterinary supplies or equipment. Instead of super soakers, they had 60 ml syringes. And their swimming pool was a large galvanized tank, and their diving board was the tailgate of a truck. And to this day, I'm not sure if they think of horse stocks for restraint or monkey bars. And how many times were their Halloween costumes medically related? Cap, mask, gown, stethoscope. Children and veterinarians also have so many stories, like one afternoon in Guntown, Mississippi, when I was about 12 months pregnant with Stacy. I received a call from Mr. Jim Rutherford, who told me he had a horse that had the colic. Bad, he said, come quickly. He told me his place was hard to find, so he'd meet me by the side of the road, which I did. So get this picture, a violently painful horse, thrashing down, hard to keep up, attended by big burly Jim Rutherford and a late-term pregnant woman on the side of a road. The first car that came by stopped, rolled down the window, that was the Times, and asked, "What's wrong with your horse?" Mr. Rutherford replied, "He has the colic." And the driver said, "Well, why don't you call a veterinarian?" So early the next morning, I went into labor, and Stacy was born, uneventfully, a beautiful, healthy baby girl. Mr. Rutherford called immediately in distress and to apologize for making me go into labor. And he called every day. And I still have pictures of the roses he sent. And he still thinks he induced the labor. And the driver of the car still has no idea that that woman could have been an equine veterinarian, especially that pregnant woman. But career-wise, all I ever wanted to be was a really good equine veterinarian. Opportunities arose, decisions were made, and my path had twists and turns. Along the way, it's been an honor to be selected to lead in the veterinary profession, the horse industry, and the community. In my life, it's never been about being a woman doing a job. It's always been about doing a good job, giving back, and creating something of value in the world. I expect the same is true of all the inductees of the National Cowgirl Hall of Fame and Museum. Family-wise, all I ever wanted to be was a good mother. And despite what I may have done right or wrong, my children have and has always had my unconditional love, respect, and support. Again, they're amazing people. My oldest, Ashby, couldn't be here today, but he's the businessman with a work ethic exceeded only by his sensitivity and tenderness. And Stacy, you might have noticed her in the room. She's creative, artistic, fun-loving, and she lights up a room when she enters. And Wade is the rock. He's a soulful, deep thinker and a strong competitor beneath a fun-loving exterior. And all have integrity and compassion and a love of animals. I love you all more than life itself. And when Jim Hurd and I got married earlier this year in Utopia, Texas, where else would you get married? That's a good start, I'd say. On the L.A. Waters Ranch, and thank you again, Wanda and Lou, for that memorable 4 days in Utopia. The family grew to 5 children, 2 daughters and 3 sons, with 2 sons-in-law, 2 daughters-in-law, and 6 grandchildren. Beverly Hurd Flores and Josh Hurd are also amazing, talented, successful people, and I'm so proud that they're part of our expanded family. Bev heads up governmental affairs and John Deere Financial, and she's here today. And Josh, assistant athletic director at University of Louisville, couldn't be here. But throughout my life, I've been privileged to live my passions as a mother, a horseman, an equine veterinarian, an academician, and now a Texan. I love Texas. An ad in Texas Monthly Magazine said it all. Big white page, nothing but big black bold letters that say, "Don't tell a Texan it can't be done." And it's true. Many of our leaders wear boots and come from ranching families with a deep understanding of the Western heritage and the associated values. Texas seems to honor and revere its strong, capable leaders, men and women alike, many of whom are inductees. And it's a privilege to work at Texas A&M, where the core values are embraced and honored, and where its famous, friendly, hospitable environment is treasured and carefully preserved despite its 57,000 students. It's a place where the chancellor wears boots to work, the president was raised on a ranch, the provost is a West Texan who loves horses, and the vice president of governmental affairs is an avid horse enthusiast whose uncle had some of the great quarter horses in Texas, like midget bars. There's just no greater privilege than to lead the Texas A&M College of Veterinary Medicine and Biomedical Sciences, the best veterinary school on the planet. It's a place where the core values align with the code of the West. So I love Texas. It's where I met and married my soulmate, Jim Hurd. It took over 60 years to find him, but it was worth the wait. He's the best horseman I've ever known, and he's even a better person. So we'll be watching with admiration as our children and grandchildren take their life journeys, and mark my words, we'll be laughing together until we draw our last breath. But in closing, it's truly a privilege and an honor to stand before you today. When I first experienced the National Cowgirl Museum and Hall of Fame, it was love at first sight. Above all others, it has unmatched energy and soul with a purpose to entertain, educate, and inspire. And when I was asked to serve on its board of directors, I thought, there is no greater honor. But I found out there is, and that's today, this induction into its National Cowgirl Hall of Fame. I just don't know if I'm more humbled or honored to be among all of you, the wonderful other inductees, and the rest of you that support this great museum. I thank you all again.
Well, thank you and congratulations to you once again, Dr. Green. Now, Pam, get back over here. Quit trying to get free vet advice. Come on. Come on. You're always doing that. We have this program that we need to tend to here.
I mean, a vet of that caliber in the room.
I understand,
you know,
but
I'm
we're
thinking
on a tight schedule here.
Okay.